こんにちは、川田美穂子です。お元気ですか？ How are you today? Do you ever give up on something you want to do because you think it's impossible to do in the current environment, or there is no way you can do it? In a sense, I believe it leads to narrowing your own life. There was once a time when I was placed in a situation where my freedom of action was greatly restricted. Those days, I felt as if my life was almost over. However, I suddenly had a profound change in my thinking and came to believe I could expand my possibilities in any situation. This time, I'd like to share with you this experience of mine. This happened when I was caring for my mother at home.After visiting and taking care of her, who lived alone for 2 years, I had her move in my home and cared for her by myself for 5 years until she passed away. The most difficult time for me mentally was the first 2 years when I started home caring. Before caregiving, I took it for granted. I traveled freely for work,such as going to America or holding seminars in Japan. But after my mother came to live with me, I could no longer work. I almost never left the house except going shopping, because I felt sorry for her if I left her alone, and also I was worried something might happen while I was away.I had convinced myself I should not go out. My stress increased. I became irritated as I kept having same conversations with her. She was in advanced stages of dementia. I became upset by the negative aspect of myself that I was not being nice to her. One day, I was attracted to an announcement,placed in the local community paper, recruiting the participants for a circle. It was a class to learn about kimono and how to wear it, with a 2-hour class once a week for 8 months. Before I became a caregiver, I founded an organization and instructed Japanese people how to introduce a variety of Japanese culture to foreign people in simple English and in the unique ways. I also visited schools in the United States to introduce origami, folktales, haiku, and so on to the students. But I could not wear kimono myself, and I used one that was easy to put on.If I could learn kimono dressing, I could wear my favorite kimono with my own and share Japanese culture with people from other countries. A fun dream came to my mind. However, soon I thought there was no way I could continue to attend a 2-hour class every week for 8 months. I quickly took the idea out of my mind. Still, I was curious about the workshop and kept looking at the article. Just before the application deadline, I suddenly had a thought. For now, I would apply and get started. If something inconvenient happens, I can stop at that point or think about how to deal with it. I decided to attend the course,while increasing the time of the visiting helpers and with the help of my friend. There are 35 participants in all. On the last day of the course, only 3 people received the Perfect Attendance Award. I was one of them. It gave me a lot of confidence. Unfortunately, my mother fell in her room and broke a bone,and I could not move on to the advanced class. But the fact I could continue the weekly lesson for 8 months helped me believe there is a way no matter the situation. I decide to learn something once a week, 4 times a month, and among the lessons to be done wearing kimono, I chose tea ceremony, smelling fragrant incense, and traditional Japanese storytelling, so that they will be useful for my future work. For tea ceremony, I chose a class I could attend flexibly. The time I made for myself by taking lessons had a positive impact on my life as a caregiver. I was able to be nicer to my mother. One day, after the incense practice, the teacher and the class people, including me, went to a coffee shop and chatted. There, for the first time, I said I was caring for my mother at home. One person said with a surprised face, "You don't look like you are living such a difficult time." Hearing it, the teacher said, "As she is content in her heart, it won't appear on her face." Her words became a guideline for my life from then on. If there is something you want to do, I recommend you decide to do it and take the first step without thinking of all the reasons why you cannot do it. Doing so will create a positive thinking and will be a great opportunity to turn your life around. Thank you for watching. See you soon. ごきげんよう。